Well, welcome to La Casita del Terror. First of all, thank you very much.
Thank you for having us, Fran. It's so nice to be with you, and welcome to our crazy home. I'm Toby Poser.
And I'm John, and Zelda and Lulu Lulu's actually in Asia right now, and Zelda is in college. So we're here lucky enough to be talking with you, and we really appreciate you bringing us on.
Well, I first met you through the Mar del Plata Film Festival. Hellbender, your latest film, was part of the official competition. I really loved the film. It blew me away. And it brought my attention the fact that it was made by the Adams family. First, I thought it was like a nickname, but no, it's like a real family of filmmakers, and you are mostly the whole crew on your films, and that's pretty unusual, at least for me. And I'm really curious about that experience. How is it to make films as a family? Are there any roles like I am directing, I am writing a script, I am making the sound? How do you work together as a family with this project that is so unusual?
Well, we all started making movies together about 12 years ago. And so it's been a process that we've all grown together and all found which parts of making films we each like best. So at this point, we've made 8 movies. And at this point, we all know what we love about movie making. We all know what we do best. We don't argue much about things because we all know what we love about it now. And we're kind of this fun unit. It's something that we really enjoy. It's a way for us to just enjoy each other's companionship as a family. And luckily, people have enjoyed our movies also. So not only do we like making them, but now it turns out that there's people out there that enjoy watching them. And that's the beautiful magic.
A big part of what we do is it has to feel good and it has to be fun. I mean, even in the context of horror, which can be brutal, it's also really fun, and we have a good time doing it, and that's really important to us. It's also really convenient because you can be sharing a meal 1 minute, and if the sky is right outside, we can take our camera and be outside within 10 minutes.
Well, I would like to talk a little bit about Hellbender, your latest film. For me, it was like a really strong visual experience. Besides the traditional narrative, of course. And I was thinking, did you work like with a script that you stick to script, or is there like improvisation during the process of making these films?
We don't usually work with a set script. Sometimes we'll have an idea for a scene and maybe we know something specifically we want to shoot, but so we'll write it down, but then we rarely stick to it. We just kind of jump off from it because it's in doing the scene that we tend to find out what it's really about, and that each of us knows better than the other how to say it.
You know, like with things like scripts, like, you know, I think it's for us, we're allowed to not memorize lines because we don't necessarily have a shooting schedule. So like Toby said, we know what a scene needs to accomplish. And so memorizing lines and just like memorizing a script and doing what the script says isn't good for us. It's a lot more healthy for us to let it show us how we should do it, you know, a little more freedom to it.
I heard, I read, and correct me if I'm wrong, that you shoot Hellbender while traveling through the States or something like that.
Yeah, we had shot just a little bit before the pandemic kind of, hit all of us. And then since Zelda was having to do school on computer anyway, we said, well, let's just get on the road, and that's what we did. Ironically, that's how we made our first film in 2010, Rumble Strips, as well.
Something also very interesting for me in both of your films is like there's like a mythology that is told mostly on through visual ideas. For example, on The Deeper You Dig, this thing with the box and the circles. In Hellbender, this thing with the key, with the hand and the key, and the spells, and the book. And I feel like this mythology is even bigger than what we see on screen. And I was wondering is it all made up?
I think it's really fun to catch inspiration from research and reading. I love reading. I've over there, I have books. I can look at, there's one, Witches, Femina, Grimm's Fairy Tales.
I love it.
It's so much fun to research for inspiration, but then it's also fun to kind of throw that away too and come up with something original. I was really inspired by legendary iconic figures like Lilith or Lamia, the serpent goddess, or Kali the destroyer, and then just kind of make our own mythology from that, because I think it's important to try to be original, especially if you're going to do your take on witchcraft, like come up with something fresh.
And also I love the fact that witchcraft is not like depicted in a bad way, and there's also like a fairy tale feeling, at least for me, on the film, like this thing with the forest and the house in the middle of the forest.
The first time you're the first person who's ever said that, and that's
Really?
really
Yeah.
cool.
I would like to talk a little bit about the themes, mostly of Hellbender and The Deeper You Dig, which I think are kind of related. What I've found like it's like very important and present is like the figure of the mother, like the motherhood. And the way I see the film is like, my interpretation is like, the theme is how it is to be a mother.
It's a story about how deeply a mother loves her child.
Mhm.
And in fact, Hellbender's also a story about how deeply a mother loves her child, but they're taken from different angles.
Exactly.
What do you think, Tobe? Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's funny, I think of Hellbender as a coming of age story, not only for Izzy, the teenager, but also for the mother.
For the
because
mother.
I think parents too, no matter your gender, are always coming of age, because we all grow older, and as your children are going through some kind of transition, so too are the parents. And that's something that I love. I love that we see both of these women in Hellbender transitioning.
Yeah.
I will also like to talk about the music. I think like the story is also told through the songs they play while rehearsing. And I was wondering if those songs were written specifically for the film, or did you already have them?
We did this movie because we have a band called Hellbender, and we made a video for the band and realized, wow, let's not make a video, let's make a full movie about it.
What's next for the Addams Family?
Yeah, so we actually had two films that we did this past year. So as John says, Where the Devil Roams, it feels like a perfect a third film after The Deep You Dig and Hellbender. It's about a family of sideshow performers on a carnival circuit in Depression era. So it takes place in the early 1930s. And they're a murderous bunch, but they're a beautiful, loving family as well. And we love this film.
Well, guys, I'm not taking any more of your time. Thank you.
We have words, which is thank you. It's incredibly nice of you to invite us on your show. And thank you for pointing out, you said something today that was really beautiful. So it's a great day for us. You called Hellbender a fairy tale. Thank you. That is